And I want to thank Washingtonians who have put us in a position to be able to make this progress. We are in a position to be able to make this progress because people have been careful, have by and large followed our mandates, and have been responsible.
601 days. That's how long it's been since the first indoor mask mandate in Washington was announced.
Governor Jay Inslee announcing the light at the end of the tunnel for the state. The indoor mask mandate is ending. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
And I'm Whitney Ward. Thank you for being here. So this, of course, has been a very hotly contested debate topic for many, many months. How much longer those masks will be required in the state of Washington, now in places like schools? Well, today we did get that answer. It is March 21st.
After 2 years, the indoor mask mandate is coming to an end in about a month from now. The governor insisting he's making that decision based on the science. In his briefing today, the governor pointed out that while cases are dropping dramatically, hospitalizations remain high across the state. However, he says he's confident by the 21st of March we'll be in a position to no longer require masks in most indoor settings. Here's what that means. Masks will no longer be required, at least by the state, in places like buildings, public buildings, restaurants, K-12 schools, places of worship, gyms, and grocery stores. However, private businesses can still require masks if they choose. They just won't be required to by the state. Today, the governor and the state superintendent of public instruction thanked Washingtonians for getting to this point.
We are in a position to be able to make this progress because people have been careful, have by and large followed our mandates, and have been responsible. And most Washingtonians have got vaccinated as well. This is what has allowed us to be in this position to reduce these mask mandates.
We had 1.53 million children nationwide were not in in-person learning. From the 5-year-old to the 105-year-old, everybody had a part in a shared responsibility to each other. It involved face covering and distancing and hygiene and in some cases closures. The impacts have been broad, but we also became a state that rapidly addressed this in ways the country was envious of. Half the hospitalization rate per 100,000, half of the loss of life per 100,000.
Now, there are exceptions to today's announcement. Masks will still be required in certain settings like healthcare and medical facilities, long-term care settings, public transit, taxis, rideshare vehicles, and school buses, as well as correctional facilities. And again, any private business or local government can still choose to require masks if they deem it necessary. This also means that students at Washington schools will now be able to attend class this spring without a mask. Again, that starts on March 21st.
KREM 2's Ian Smade joining us here at the set tonight to explain what else this means for schools as well as reaction from local education leaders. Ian?
Yeah, so this means that starting on March 21st, students will no longer be required to wear masks while they're at school. Now, masks have been required since students went back to the classroom during that 2020 to 2021 school year. And this means that for the first time since Governor Inslee forced schools to transition into remote learning, kids will be going to class without masks. Additional guidance from the state for schools will come out the week of March 7th. That's in order to give more time for districts to prepare for the transition to optional mask usage. Schools must still report cases and outbreaks to the state, and students and staff showing COVID-19 symptoms will still be required to quarantine. Other requirements that will still be in place include making sure testing is available for students and staff who have symptoms or have been exposed. Michael Dunn is the superintendent of ESD 101, which represents Eastern Washington school districts. He said the announcement is a sign of hope.
I think that there's a date certain in just a few short weeks that we're going to be there. I think that's a real cause for optimism, both about how we can return our lives to some degree of normal and that possibly we're entering a phase where we can manage this in a way where it's safer for all of us.
We also talked to parents at Mullen Road Elementary School when they went to pick up their kids earlier today. We asked them about their thoughts on the news. Here's what one parent had to say.
I think it's wonderful, and I think it's about time. I think it's impacted our kids enough and for too long. So I just think it's about time.
We also just received the letter that the Spokane Public Schools District sent to its families. It reads in part, as in the past, we ask that all students and staff follow health and safety protocols. SPS will continue to follow the guidance of public health officials and will provide updates to staff and families whenever changes are made. Now, we have reached out to multiple school districts, and we will have those statements, including a statement from the Meade School District at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, interesting stuff, Ian. Thank you very much. Well, the announcement means that you will not be required to mask up going to concerts or out to dinner. Mark Starr, the owner of David's Pizza, is confident his business will bounce back to where it was in 2019, before the pandemic. Starr believes Governor Inslee is a month late in lifting the mandate and says the mask requirement has put his staff in awkward positions.
It's been really difficult. It's been odd the way people treat each other. My staff doesn't know what to do. Some people are religious about wearing their masks, and of course we're respectful of that. And there's other people that are like, why do we have to put these on? We live in Idaho. Nobody over there masks up. Why do we have to mask up here?
So one restaurant in town has a plan to require proof of vaccination and masks even after the state mandate is lifted. We'll hear from them coming up tonight on KREM 2 News at 6 o'clock. And like we mentioned earlier, it's been 601 days since the first indoor mask mandate was announced. The first mandate took place in June of 2020. The order came after a mandatory mask proclamation for Yakima County, which at the time was the biggest hotspot for the entire state.
It was then lifted almost an entire year later in May of 2021. Well, thanks to the Delta variant, it was quickly reinstated in August of 2021. That is the same time when the outdoor mandate was announced as well. The outdoor mandate, by the way, expires tomorrow, and now we know the indoor mandate will expire in most places again on March 21st. If you would like to read more about the governor's announcement today, just text us the word mask to 509-448-2000 and we'll send that link directly to your phone. Well, as it turns out, Governor Jay Inslee expected to visit Spokane tomorrow to talk about a variety of topics, including transportation, climate priorities, and affordable housing.
So we know the governor will tour the Division Street corridor, learning more about that $50 million Division Street bus rapid transit project. That's to be funded, as proposed at least, by the Move Ahead Washington package. The
governor is then meeting with Gonzaga students to talk climate priorities. He'll then tour the Highland Village Affordable Housing Project, which is in Airway Heights. All right, let's take a break from the headlines real quick to talk weather. Another beautiful day out there today. Certainly not sick of this weather.
No, certainly not. We love the sunshine. It came out for just enough time to quickly set. Meteorologist Tom Sherry is joining us now. It is still pretty out there, though, right now.
Yeah, I think we may get a little more sunshine tomorrow. Right now, as you can see, we're at 42 degrees. Wind is out of the southwest at 10 miles per hour. In your day planner forecast, I've got an overnight low of about 30 degrees, 46 the expected high tomorrow. For the weekend, it all changes. Look for showers to develop in the afternoon and evening hours on Saturday and a chance of rain and snow on Sunday. I'll check your 7-day outlook coming up in a few minutes.
Well, what started as a welfare check turned into something much darker. Tonight, deputies have discovered in Okanogan County. We'll let you know more about that. And we've also got more of your day's top stories coming up.
Amanda Rowley here with KREM 2 News. For a few years now, lovebirds would come to this walking bridge in Peaceful Valley to lock down their love. On any given day, you would find several dozen locks like this one attached to the Sandifer Memorial Bridge. But on Valentine's Day, a couple discovered all the locks were gone. Join me tonight at 6 to find out why the city of Spokane had them all removed.